Hey guys, Masterkizz back with some Borderlands The Pre Sequel for you today. Recently I was invited by 2K Australia to a secret underground facility where we could go and play Borderlands The Pre Sequel early. So I've had this footage for a while, but I was under NDA and I couldn't release it. But anyway, let's get into it. So you see right there, a new feature's cool. When somebody joins your game, it'll actually tell you what their badass rank is, which is quite handy because in Borderlands 2 it was nice to know how many badass points or badass ranks someone had when they joined, because some people were just absolute monsters, and that's a really nice feature. But anyway, Borderlands The Pre Sequel, it is coming out soon. Definitely going to play it. We got to sit down, we got to talk to the developers while we were playing it, and the gameplay I sort of had to cut quite a fair bit because I was taking the headset off and talking to the guys that were in the room at the same time, asking them questions and things like that. So yeah, the gameplay has a fair few cuts in it, but this is like the first area you encounter and the first enemies you encounter. And that dude there, it's like Shug-Urath, and I was thinking, I don't know whether that's a nod to Quake. There was actually an enemy in the first Quake called Shub-Niggurath. And I don't know whether that's a combination of that and that's a nod to it. But anyway, there's a lot of cool new enemies, a lot of cool new features. Right now I sort of paused and the developer said, look, walk over to one of the new vehicles. And he said, I'll show you something cool. What you can do now, you can walk over to these vehicles, which I think are called the Stingray, I think they are. So you jump over here, push E on it, and you can actually spawn another one off a friend's one. So you don't have to go back to the vehicle place to digistruct one. You can digistruct a new vehicle off your friend's vehicle. I don't think it works with the buggy. I think it only works with the Stingray because the buggy's a two-seater, but very, very cool little feature, I think. There's a lot of times where you do get trapped. And of course, the first thing I tried to was jump one off the jump pad, and they laughed behind me and they said, you can't do that. And I said, you got to try these things. But jump pads will get you to areas that mainly you're not supposed to access with vehicles, or they're just areas where there's going to be a door or a checkpoint. You'll see the dome. Oh, something cool here, I should say. I only noticed it in the video, but it sounded like Pop Goes the Weasel there, and if you look carefully you might have to pause it. Claptrap is running towards the dude holding a gigantic bomb, and I think he blows himself up. Claptrap is mental, like absolutely bananas. He's such a strange character to have in the game. He is the co-op character. If you have a team, you're gonna want him on your team. He has some really, really good skills, and his action skill basically works like, it's depending on what's happening around him. So if you trigger it in certain situations, you can actually get used to what's going to happen. A couple of the devs are talking about it. Here you'll see one. What happens is I go over for a revive and Claptrap, we get blown up. Claptrap, I think he gets a second win there. So you see Claptrap gets up, second win. And now if you watch, Claptrap comes over, blows himself up, and gets us back up with that skill. It's like the sacrifice. So I don't know whether that is exactly how that worked, because it was all just sort of, this is the first time we experienced it, but that was just so strange to have something like that happen. Here I'm just checking the O2 kits to see whether I got a better one, or I should say Oz kit, to see whether I got a better one, but they geared us out with fairly decent stuff to begin with. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes to start at a very low level with very low gear and see what the learning curve is. But one of the developers, I asked him, I said, what is the scaling like in this compared to Borderlands 2? And he said it is different in this, and he said that your weapons will last longer than they did in BL2. In Borderlands 2, after a while, your weapons kind of became useless, which was a shame because some of them you'd spend so much time getting. But he definitely said that your weapons will last you longer in this one. Of course, once you get to the higher levels, you are going to need to get higher level gear. Here is another area where there's a thing in the center there on top of that crate, and that's an oxygen generator. And one of the developers was saying the cool feature with that is you can either jump up to it and hit E or hit action on it, and what it'll do, it'll actually trigger it. But if you have an energy weapon, you can actually shoot it, providing it's an energy weapon, and you can activate it from a distance. And he said that can be handy later on if there's an area, say, where you're running out of oxygen, you need to make a dash, and if you see it, you can shoot it and get the oxygen triggering much earlier. So you see here I jump up and I activate it, but he said that you can actually shoot it with an energy weapon. I think we did it later, but I don't know whether I recorded that. But just another cool little thing there. There's little tips and tricks that they were sort of over our shoulder saying, what if you try this? This would be pretty cool. But yeah, it was a fun day. We had 8 separate stations set up. Mainly we were just doing co-op to sort of get us all in and seeing the dynamic between all the characters. But yeah, towards the end of the day I did get to sit down and get a little bit of footage by myself, but I'll see if I can release that later. There you see the ice effect and they shatter. This is another thing that the Claptrap has, the Fun Zerker. It will just constantly shoot any weapon in your hand and constantly regenerate ammunition in any weapon in your hand as well. So it can be a little bit annoying when you're just trying to walk here. There's no enemies to shoot, but it does regenerate ammo at the same time it is using it. But it's just so weird. Like I said, Claptrap is just absolutely mental. It's such a strange character, but the devs were saying he is the one designed for co-op. He is the ultimate support. He's the ultimate dude. He's the one you want in there. So this is the vehicle, the Digistruct. Now it's called a moon zoomy. So it zooms things to the moon. So you see the buggy there. I thought I'd try and go through the skins quickly. I totally forgot to go through the weapons and see the weapons, but I just quickly scrolled through the skins. But that's the moon buggy. That is the 2-seater vehicle, so you can get 2 people in that. Like I said, I don't think you can Digistruct off that one. You can Digistruct off the Stingray, the smaller one, but because this one has 2 seats, I don't think you can Digistruct off this. It handles strangely because of the low gravity. It kind of is a bit floaty, so when you hit things it's quite easy to get out of control. It will take practice. This is the first time of course we were ever driving it. Here I hit the jump. We ended up in that lava quite a few times because it creeps up on you. You don't realise where you are and then you're flying over the edge straight into the lava. Yeah, all in all, I'm looking forward to it. The double jumping and the low gravity I thought was going to be weird. It just, in the videos, you can't really experience it until you've actually played it. Looking at it in the videos, it might look a bit strange, but it's not too bad. It's funny watching the characters run past on the moon on low grav because they have these gigantic slow strides. But yeah, it definitely feels like Borderlands, but it feels new enough and different enough to be refreshing. So here's the grinder. This is a new thing where you can actually drop 3 weapons in or 3 items into it and you can get gear out of it. Something that I'm pretty sure I invented in my live stream, because we used to say you find it, we grind it, and it actually says that when you activate the grinder. But you can get certain recipes to give you better gear. They didn't go too deeply into it, but they said you'll find recipes and you'll be able to get nice gear, but they said we're not going to tell you exactly how to do it. But you can use moonstone, you can put different gear in there to get better gear, you can put low level gear in it to get higher level gear, but plenty of new stuff, plenty of stuff coming. Hopefully tomorrow, the next video, I might release a video featuring a couple of new legendaries, and then after that I've got a little bit more as well. So I hope you enjoyed my first video on Borderlands The Pre Sequel. Plenty more when it releases, I think on October 14th for North America and 17th for the rest of the world. I'll see you later.